The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register.
Karibuni watazamaji katika kipindi hiki cha Great Debaters Contest. I am Austin Nyambok, Kiambu edition.
And I am Mariam Bashar. Welcome to the show. We have Outer Ring Secondary School going versus Junior Senior Preparatory School, and they're debating whether the burning of ivory is an effective deterrent to poaching in Kenya. We'll let the debating gurus take the stage now. First proposer, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to propose the motion that the burning of ivory is an effective deterrent to poaching in Kenya. Burning is to stop, while deterrent is directing the attention away from poaching that is legal and economically viable. Poaching is the illegal act of killing an animal to gain something from it. On to my first point. The government is committed to stop poaching, whereby it ordered the Kenyans to burn 100 tons of ivory to send strong warning to the poachers. That also gained an international funding and support. Actually, at this moment, it is a great history. Secondly, the move is a dramatic statement against the trade in ivory and other products which put endangered species at great risk from poachers, which reduces the cost of ivory in the market, whereby you reduce the demand. However, a time has come when we must take a stand, and the stand is true, that Kenyans is making a statement that as for us, ivory is worthless unless it's for our elephants. People don't need ivory. Elephants do. Then, we actually know that our wildlife is what we really actually love it so much. So when we show the other countries that in Kenya, when you do some illegal practicing, we are going to burn away the ivory. That's how much, let's say a country like China, when they come into our country, then they see that in Kenya, if you try some kind of illegal actions, we actually ban the ivory. Lastly, what I'm going to ask you is that, then what's the worth of your hair if it isn't on your head? Thank you.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes to make your opening statements.
I'm Jeremy Atambo from Juja Senior School. And I'm here to oppose on the motion that burning of ivory is an effective deterrent to poaching in Kenya. As the proposition has said, poaching is illegal killing of animals. Burning is simply combustion, and deterrent is to discourage those poachers who are burning and killing the animals. Noting with grave concern, this is a global phenomenon, and the use of fire. As you all know, that fire is a good servant, but it's a poor master. Burning, is this really effective? On the Saturday, the 30th of April 2016, 7 times, this is 105 tons of ivory, as compared to the previous burning by the President Mwai Kibaki. The idea was that this will tackle illegal ivory trade and curb poaching. It will curb poaching, which is killing not 10, 20, but 30,000 elephants annually. The practice of ivory trade goes back to 1989, where Kenya's President Daniel Arap Moi ignited 12 tons of elephant tusks. Is this really helping or changing the global policy? But has it really changed? It hasn't. Why then, 17 years later, we have burned 7 times, approximately 105 tons of ivory? What about the next president? After that, the trade was banned, so as the Convention on International Trade on Endangered Species, like the turtles at the Kenyan coast. And since then, many countries have followed suit. on setting that precedence of banning. But does banning really destroy ivory? It doesn't. For example, the United States of America and other developed countries have chose to crush rather than ban 1 ton of its very stockpile. It chose to crush 1 ton last year in public, in front of everyone. Because ivory does not burn, it doesn't burn in fire as you imagine. We need to crush it. It will just burn the outer layer. Yes. This is according to research done by the United States Fish and Wildlife Services. And I'd like to give an illustration about a bee. A bee works hard, goes out to look for pollen, goes out to look for pollen, comes back to its hive and makes honey. It makes honey, but now the honey harvesters come in and destroy all of the bee's hard work. Destroy all of the bee's hard work and takes its honey. That isn't fair to the bee, is it? The bee, in this case, are the animals and the wildlife in the country, and the honey harvesters. And the honey harvesters are the poachers. So ask yourself, does banning really help?
We'll hear rebuttals, beginning with the proposers. You have 3 minutes.
Does banning ivory really help us? That's the question. Well, this is not the first time that the country has resorted to banning ivory. But there are also past years that the country has resorted in banning ivory. Why is it that they ban them? The main point is that ivory doesn't have economic value. And by this doing so, we are trying to show not only Kenya, but the whole world, that ivory doesn't have any economic value. So the only way to do away with poaching is by banning them, so that we may discourage the poachers. 2, banning of ivory, again, discourages poachers from engaging in activities that help them attain the tasks from elephants and rhinos. This clearly indicates that the number of extinction of these animals will go down. Why? This is simply because when the poachers are discouraged from engaging in such activities as they see the ivory being burnt, this will help us retain the wildlife heritage of our country, simply because the number of the animals will rise in number. Banning of ivory discourages poaching in that there is no market, not only in Kenya, but the whole world, that approves of any ivory-related businesses. Thus, this tells us that even if we engage in activities of ivory and other related businesses, we won't get any value from them, but we'll only waste time, since there will be no place to sell them. Thank you.
Opposition will hear your rebuttal. You also have 3 minutes.
My name is Michael Amunyenye from Juja Preparatory. I want to rebut what first proposer and second proposer have said. I want to advise you to go and read the Constitution of Kenya, because in Article 70 of the Constitution, which was promulgated in the year 2010, 17th August, it clearly stipulates that every person in Kenya has the right to a clean and healthy environment. So by banning ivory, we are going contrary to the Constitution, which makes it illegal for banning ivory. So I don't think that is the best way of curbing poaching. And for my second point, my chemistry tells me that ivory can never undergo full combustion. If you combust ivory, the outer part of ivory is the one which will look like it's burnt. Then after that, what will happen? The poachers will just follow up on it and trace it and still sell them. So the best way I can advise the proposers to do is to follow what the United States of America did last year by crushing 1 ton of ivory. And it helped the USA to reduce poaching by 13%. So I think the best way we can help to curb poaching in this country is by coming up with stringent measures to help curb corruption. Like we can come up with punishments and a harsh treatment for the poachers who have been found to perform corruption. And Mr. Chairman, I would like to advise the dear proposers to cross over to our side because I think it is unlucid what they are saying. Thank you.
The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register. The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register.
Thank you, audience, for your questions. The proposers have been asked to state where they got the information that ivory has no economic impact from, yet the burning of ivory is to show that we value the elephant, more than the ivory. The opposition have been asked if we were to burn ivory in less populated areas, would the environmental impact then not be as great? We'll have them respond to the questions. Proposer number 3, you have 3 minutes.
I'm Pretty Laura from Outer Ring High School. Thank you so much for the question. I appreciate it so much. But my member, the Honorable, was the one who asked the question to the opposing side. That burning clearly indicates that they don't have any value here in Kenya or outside the world. But you asked if ivory has no economic value. Well, it doesn't have any economic value if there is nothing we are gaining from it. So onto the opposite side. If you are thinking that we should stop the burning of Ivory Coast, what do you think what should be done? And give us the directive if it's okay to be done it well. What I can say is, here, the tourists are giving us 1.1 billion for coming. But what do we gain if they came here with, again, remaining attraction of the tourist sites and everything? Like here in Kenya, we are the heritage of wildlife. Thank you so much.
Opposition, we'll hear your response to the question. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you very much. My name is Paolo Keo. I come from Juja Senior School. I will answer your question. You asked me if it were to be burnt in a place that is sparsely populated, what would happen? Let me give you this instant. Ivory is being burnt, and this is smoke. So don't you think the people have neighbors? The smoke will affect them. I have answered your question. 2, you asked me what should be done if we do not burn ivory. We should add additional law enforcement to combat poaching and trafficking. 2, we should have stronger judicial process to end impunity for wildlife criminals, so that we should not be having each and every time that a poacher is caught, they will go scot-free. And 3, we should enhance local stewardship of national resources and reporting on suspected poachers in the country. Kenya has been banning tusks since the era of the then president Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi. We keep on banning tusks until the era of Mwai Kibaki, and just the other day we banned tans when the President Uhuru Kenyatta was there. So we have become an expert in banning. So are we just going to keep on banning ivory all the time? We should look for measures that we should do this. Third point is that each and every year we have over 10,000 university graduates. What is this resulting into? There are no jobs and they are going to poaching. So the government should issue jobs to them to avoid the poaching. And they said that they were asking if the poacher, if the tasks have money value. So if they did not have money value, then why do we sell them? For what now? They have to have money value to be sold. The next point is that this banning of ivory, we have very many ways that we can resolve from the banning of ivory. So will we just keep on banning ivory all the time? Of course not. That is why we are saying that we should enhance strict laws on the poachers, and we should issue firm, clear, and mandatory instructions to the Kenya Wildlife Service against poaching. Thank you.
We'll hear final submissions. Proposers, you have a minute.
My, oh my, I'm so happy to ask it. Well, why contradicting yourself here? Can you just stand and come and say what is right? Thank you. You say that we are looking for the measures. What kind of measures are you talking about? Can we have the examples of measures? If you know that you have the measures in you, then why can't you read them out? Give us more than 5 examples of measures that we should use so that we cannot ban the ivory. Thank you.
Opposition, you have a minute as well.
I will go straight to your question. 1, you have asked me to, in detail, give you 5 ways in which we can go other than this banning ivory. Okay, let's go. 1, instead of banning this ivory, we should rather educate the poachers on the value of these tasks. What are the values of these tasks? 1, it is a major exchange, it is a major stock of foreign exchange. Each and every year, we have tourists from all over the world, everywhere, coming to see these animals of ours. 2, we should enhance strict laws on the judicial process in which if a poacher is caught, he should not go scot-free and he should be adequately punished for his mistake. 3, other than banning the tasks, we should, like my opponent said, crush the tasks, which is an environmentally measure of going against the poaching issue, other than banning the tasks. Thank you.
Juja Senior School, very briefly. In my honest opinion, the motion wasn't that well tackled. There were a lot of questions than answers that you are providing. And as a good debater, you must provide, of course, you'll provoke questions in the course of trying to provide the answers. But the first debater, Jeremy, I think you did a good job, or a fairly good job insofar as the definition of terms, because it wasn't defined. And I also loved the fact that you're able to trace the development of this from the time of President Moi, the former President Moi, to the time in which we are talking about, and said that we have banned over 17 times what we did in 1989. But it has not stopped this particular practice, and therefore your argument is it is not an effective deterrent. And I think that particular historical development really worked well in setting the stage. But now the problem is, Michael and Powell, slightly, there was a kind of a hitch in, you are not really supporting what he was talking about. I wish you all took the angle of looking at the development and looking at the demerits of this particular practice. I think the debate came to crushing and not banning. So in terms of your presentation, it was a fair presentation, but Jeremy, it was commendable. So what you need to do, you need to analyze the motion properly and see which arguments will strongly support your side of the argument. Fair presentation.
Outer Ring High School, I would say what you gave us was fair. Reason behind it is because, number one, Diana, you came and defined the terms, and I think you referred to burning in terms of the BAN, not the fire. So there was a confusion when you started off. Time underutilized, and I think just to talk to you both, I mean, as a team, emotional appeal would have been there, because how many elephants have been lost, how many jobs have been lost as a result, tourism going down and all that. So you would have really used that by appealing to us. So justify why this is the best way by telling us that. Moses, rebuttals. You're a cross-examiner, so you're expected to rebuttal what they have given. That missed. You underutilized time as well, and I think this was across the board. All of you underutilized your time. Pretty, you only answered the question and disappeared. Okay, so there was more time to give us more submissions. So does it lead to a decline in demand? That was the question. And I think if you answered that, that would have been better. Maybe that would have been taken up by Juja and say the demand will still be there, maybe even at a higher price. So it was better for you to balance all that. So fair.
On both sides, I don't think that the execution was very well done. And I'm at a loss here as to, which side of the debate I should be on, because the proposers didn't convince me that it is an effective deterrent, and the opposers also did not convince me that it isn't an effective deterrent. I think the opposers seemed to dwell a lot on the fact that, when you ban it, you don't actually destroy it. And there have been articles that have been written towards that effect, to what's the best way to destroy it. But if that's the position that you took, then you should have followed through with that to a logical conclusion, so that then you educate the audience on why the method that you're recommending as the best method to destroy ivory would be the most effective in terms of deterring poaching in Kenya. And I don't think that that execution was well done by either of the teams.
Outer Ring High School, you have 55%. Please give them a round of applause. Your opponents, Juja Senior School, have 62%, making them the winners of this debate.
Congratulations to the teams on stage. We also want to thank you, our studio audience, and also our viewer back home. Join the conversation on our social media platforms at Great Debaters EA for Twitter and all the rest. I am Austin Nyambok.
And I am Mariam Bashar. Thank you for watching.
The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register.